It's time to open up your eyes, 'cause we were made to fly. We can do anything. We'll shine like the sun, the moon, the stars. We can go anywhere. They'll see us no matter where we are, 'cause we got the fire. We got the fire. Show the world the impossible is possible. Show the world the impossible is possible. There's a moment when you understand. You don't gotta follow all the plans. It's time to open up your hands.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a wonderful Friday in South Cobb. And so thank you for joining me again for our coffee talk with Trey, which will take place after every Board of Education meeting. And so listen, let's jump right into it because we have a lot to cover. And I don't want to have you here all morning because, you know, I'm passionate about this great stuff. So spring break, we're in April. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed your spring break. The boys and I, we took a little us time in Puerto Rico, and we enjoyed ourselves. And the boys were talking about staying, didn't want to come back. And I guess many of you already know my heart concerning Puerto Rico. So that's that. I also celebrated a birthday, April the 5th. I turned 45, and so excited about that. And for those of you that participated in the Communities and Schools fundraiser for my birthday, I appreciate it. I did exceed my goal. I believe we are still fundraising to go well and above. And so I appreciate every single one of you who donated the 10, the 25, the $100. It is appreciated. It is appreciated. So thank you so very much. In regards to that, and those of you that have not, if you can and you will, please go to my Facebook page or go to Communities and Schools Facebook page. And if you don't mind, any amount, $5, $10, $20, $1,000, whatever you have to give to share with those organizations that are supporting our children academically and social emotionally, please do so, and I appreciate it. Also, I have started my school tours of Post 3. So at this point, I have completed every elementary school and every middle school and every high school. And middle school, I put a asterisk on that because I do need to revisit TAP Middle School because the day that I was scheduled to do it, it was right after Pebblebrook High School. And of course, Dr. Dana Giles and I, passionate people, ended up going overtime, and I missed my time to really spend at TAP Middle School. And so we're going to make sure that we come back and enjoy the staff and the students at TAP Middle School. And so, you know, these are some of the things that TAP has blessed me with. I'm actually drinking my coffee this morning via TAP Middle School. And so thank you, Dr. Alvin Thomas at TAP Middle School and the Powder Springs family for showing me love and all that great stuff. But we will come back because we have a lot to talk about over the next couple of months. So I want to make sure that we have those conversations. Also, so the only schools I have not visited is the South Cobb Early Learning Center and Haven Academy at this point. So we'll probably get that on the schedule and talk about that. But thank you to every school principal that I have had the privilege of talking with and walking with. I enjoy each and every one of you and what you bring to your school community. It's exciting. So some of the schools have just really made me feel very, very, very good about what they are presenting and what they are giving children. And I tell you, I was excited to see that. So I'm gonna tell you again, these were good tours. These were our principal leaders did a great job of showing me around and showing me all the great things that are happening within their schools. And for many of you, you know that I am really passionate about schools that have programming such as STEM and art integration and dual language immersion. And so those schools that are implementing some of those additional programming pieces and exposing our children to those additional 21st century learning models, I appreciate it. It was exciting. I say that Dr. Liz Maynard at Clarkdale is an overachiever because she's offering just about any and every program that you can think of. She has it at Clarkdale, and so those elementary students are coming prepared by the time they get to Cooper and Cooper Middle School. And yeah, so we have some excellent leaders, some great leaders, and so I appreciate the work that each and every one of you are doing. In fact, while I was at South Cobb High School, Principal Tommy and I walked around, and he was awarding his administrative assistants beautiful bouquets of flowers. And you can see some pictures on my Twitter page in regards to that. And I was excited to be a part of that, and his expression of love and respect for those administrative assistants within his building. And so thank you, Tommy, for allowing me to walk with you on that and sharing that in that experience with you. It was great. On yesterday, I was back at Pebblebrook High School for what we call the huddle. And it's part of the Awakening, which is our men's, let me see if I can show you, it's my t-shirt, men's conference that Dr. Dana Giles, Dr. G, has for all the guys. If you recall, last month we talked about the You Go Girl conference that she has for all the young ladies in the building. And so I was excited to be able to share on that panel of alumni with our young men. And I've never been the old head in the group. I've never been, old school, but I was the oldest alumni in the group. A lot of them were from 2013. One guy was from 2020. And so, but I was able to share from the perspective of the old head. I'm embracing it at this point. And so, yeah, so it was exciting. And thank you, Dr. G and Dr. Eric Roberson and all of those, and Coach Washington, all those at Pebblebrook High School that helped to put that on for our young men. It was powerful. And so I was excited to be a part of that. And thank you so much for, pouring into our young men and their social and emotional health as well. So thank you for that. Talking about Powder Springs Elementary, the South Cobb Arts Association, they hosted an event with Powder Springs, and they were highlighting Powder Springs because Powder Springs is one of our art integrated schools. So art is a part of the framework of education at Powder Springs Elementary. And, this program has been going on for quite some time now, and it has really grown and blossomed. And so the South Cobb Arts Alliance was there talking about their Color Pop project coordination. And there was so many different leaders from the community there. There was some city council people from the city of Powder Springs, Patricia Wisdom and Henry Lust. And these are some great leaders that not just serve city council, but they support the education of the schools in Powder Springs. And so it's exciting to be a part of that event for Powder Springs Elementary. We do have a meeting coming up with leaders in Powder Springs really soon to talk about the state of schools in Powder Springs. And so I'm excited about that partnership and that collaboration between city government and civic organizations and educational partners for supporting Powder Springs and the Powder Springs schools. So I'm looking forward to that in the next coming week. So thank you so much. Tap Middle School, again, they got a new lending library. So if you go to the front of Tap Middle School, in the drive-through, there's a new small box for a library box where you can take books and you can drop books off and share books with the community. And so I'm excited to see what that yields for our young people, even when we're on break and throughout the summer and things of that nature, where they can have fresh access to books and reading materials. One of the big things, and it was the highlight of my April pretty much, was the white coat ceremony at South Cobb High School. And I appreciate the parents that invited me out to share with their students who were either they're getting ready to graduate and they received their stethoscope, or their junior getting ready to go into their senior year and they actually received their white coat. It was an awesome experience to see it, to see the happiness on the kids' face and their families and all of the support. It was a lot of people out there. It was outdoors. So in a lot of social distancing, but a lot of love was being shared at the same time. So I'm excited about that. And go to my social media pages. I apologize, I don't have graphics to share with you and pictures to share with you as I normally would, because many of you know this has been a busy month. So between spring break, birthday, and school board and school tours, I have not been able to get my graphics and stuff together. But please go to my social media pages and you will see pictures of those events that took place. So we're excited about that. If you are in the Pebblebrook cluster and your children attend sixth grade, the Lindley sixth grade academy or Lindley Middle School, there are some date changes to the STEM Academy application for those that will be going to 7-8, and you desire to participate in the STEM Academy. And even if you don't know what it is, but you desire to know what it is, there's a newly revised flyer, and I'm gonna post that today in regards to some dates and some open houses, virtual open houses and things of that nature. So we can see exactly what that is for those of us that will be attending Lindley 7-8. And so that will be upcoming. So, and those dates to apply are coming soon. So we want to make sure that we know what's going on and have those opportunities available for our children. Last month, or in February, actually, Black History Month, several elected officials and myself attended Zion Baptist Church Black History Forum. And as a result of attending, they sent us these wonderful cell phone holders. And so mine came yesterday while, we was at the school board, and it was in a package and it was sent to me, and I had an opportunity to share my phone and have it up while I was in the meeting so I could not miss anything. And so I appreciate that. It actually has an inscription and a quote from Nelson Mandela. And I want to sleep for eternity with a broad smile on my face. I want those who remain behind to say, this man has done his duty, Nelson Mandela. That's something to live by. That is something to live by. And so this was very nice. Thank you, Zion Baptist Church. I appreciate that. There also was another community town hall that I participated in with several other elected officials and community leaders around Cobb County. And that was a community town hall hosted by Breanne Perkins. And for those of you that don't know Breanne Perkins, she is the daughter of Monica Delancey. And she is a junior at Bennett College. And her sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho, was having a town hall and talking about being civically engaged and all those different things. And so it was great to be supported to support Breanne Perkins, someone who I've watched grow up through the years. And now she's a beautiful young lady, and she's actively doing the work of being civically engaged and bringing other young people along with her. And so thank you, Breanne, for allowing me to serve on that panel. I appreciate it. I have a book here that I want to share with you guys. This book was written by Miss Nelba K. Smith. And it says, "We are different, we are friends." And it's a book on diversity. And it's an easy read. It's for children. It focuses on embracing diversity, reflecting on bullying and compassion. And so I want to pass this on to all of our PTA leaders. Take a look at it. We want to get this circulated in our schools. Nelba K. Smith happens to be a retired educator from the Cobb County School District and currently works with the after-school program at Sanders Elementary. And so she sent this to me yesterday. I appreciate it. I am in the process of finish reading it and handing it to my little boys so they can read it. But thank you for taking the initiative to want to share about diversity for our young people. And so I appreciate that. Let's get into what those updates. It's time for some meeting notes. All right. There we go. One of the first agenda items that I want to talk about was the student learning and recovery plan that was given by Jennifer Lawson. And many of us have been waiting on this particular plan to determine what our summer is going to look like and how we're going to support students to recover academically from any losses that they may have incurred as a result of COVID, and how we're going to move forward as a district to support our students. And so the plan did come out, and so I'm excited to see it and to actually peruse it. And we're identifying and addressing learning proficiency gaps in ELA and math. That is what this is for. It's also going to identify and respond to the student's social, emotional, and behavioral needs as well. And they're going to support one-time graduation through credit recovery. So those are some of the high-level things. There's 6 pillars of strategy that they are looking at, and this is kind of like guardrails. Make sure that you're following a plan. And so I appreciate looking at those 6 pillars of strategy. Some of it is around professional development, extended learning opportunities, much like what we're getting ready to discuss, but also strategically aligning assessment models and high impact instructional strategies. There's also a portion here in regards to student and family engagement and how we are part of that recovery process. So this was a very good comprehensive plan. We will get more details into the day-to-day and how it's actually going to play out throughout the summer, but this was a very good high-level plan shared on yesterday. As I said, for the high school, there's going to be some course extension, credit recovery. There's going to be some course auditing. This is for special education. You're going to have extended school year opportunities available to you. Some advanced learning summer enrichment academy is going to be available for some of our high school students. And of course, we always have our partnership with the Cobb County Public Library System in regard to additional digital resources and things of that nature. Now, if you're in the K through 8 pathway, we're going to have some extended learning opportunities as well. It will be a tiered support, a tier 1, 2, and 3 tiered support. All students will have access to the digital opportunity to participate digitally, and this will be all summer long. And most of that will be on-demand access. Then you are also going to have some remote learning and some asynchronous and synchronous learning opportunities as well for our K through 8. We're talking about like a structured curriculum to ensure equitable access, and that will be from June 7th to July 1st. So it's going to be the month of June, June 7th through July 1st. And if your students qualify for this particular program, you will hear something soon where your school's going to reach out to you and say, hey, we believe that your child would benefit from having this additional learning support. Please take advantage of it, see if it works with your schedule. Because what it will be is a full day of support. So we're talking about from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They're going to have a structured learning environment, but it also is going to have some enrichment thrown in there as well. So it's more of a camp feeling. So it's not just school, but it's school and play and school and play. And so that's going to be a really good thing to know. There will be transportation tied to this. So buses will pick the children up. It will bring the children back home. Breakfast and lunch will also be available from that June 7th through July 1st. And just know that it will only be Monday through Thursday. So there will be no Friday instruction in the building. Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So be on the lookout for that. I do understand that they are currently looking to see about after school program for the elementary school. So that 1 to 6 time frame, we'll get more information in regards to that. It was just briefly mentioned and again, they are continuing to work through some of those plans as mentioned in our board meeting on yesterday. And of course, we were talking about progress and monitoring and what the benchmark is going to be. And our school district, we use the RI, which is our reading inventory. We use the math inventory, which is the MI. And so they have some measures in place so that we can track the progress of our students, and that information will, simultaneously be handed over to the next teacher of record for the next school year. So that's going to be a good thing so we can kind of track the growth and development of our students. And so I was excited to hear all these different components being put into place with our summer quest, is what we're calling our summer quest for education recovery. So I was excited to hear about it. And and again, it does deal with the social emotional. There's going to be some collaboration and some partnerships with community partners, even if they're not able to participate in, coming to the building from that 9 to 1 period. But they talked about some Boys and Girls Club partnerships and some YMCA partnerships and other community partnerships. So please take a look at this. This information is on the Cobb Learning Everywhere website. This will benefit a lot of us. And so I want to make sure that we know about this opportunity and that we also take full advantage of the opportunities that are coming for us throughout the summer. We talked about our fiscal year 2020 budget, and we discussed some of the high level things in that. And I tell you, while we are in the middle of a pandemic, we are still doing pretty well in regards to making sure that the monies that Cobb County has coming in from local and federal, things are going pretty well. And so this particular budget did not include any CARES Act money. It was, carefree. And so this will just be our fiscal budget. And listen, it's a balanced budget, which was a very good thing. I appreciate the people in our finance department who put this together for us, because I was able to understand it. As a new board member, this is one of the things that I felt would be a challenge. In fact, I'm even in at Georgetown education finance class to receive a certificate in education finance, because I want to make sure that I understand budgets and how things are funded for our children and things of that nature. So this was very well put together. I do want to make sure that I highlight and I say this loud and proud. We are excited about saying that there is a 4% increase, and I say 4 to 8.6% increase for our non-temporary employees. You will be getting a raise. It is a salary step raise. And so this was exciting to hear, even in the midst of a pandemic and all the different things, all the different challenges that we are going through. We will be offering a raise. And so once this is approved, and so that is exciting news. And so over the next couple months, there are going to be some different things that take place in regards to the budget, the millage rate, approval, and things of that nature. And so as I'm learning, we will learn together on how some of this stuff works. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what we have. 50 buses. We approved to have 50 new buses purchased yesterday, and those buses will have AC in them. And so we were excited about that. One thing that we'll talk about the budget. I want to go back to that. One thing that I do want to put out there, that I will be in the near future looking at how we can support the substitute teaching staff, and what that needs to look like as far as what other school districts are doing and what we may need to do in the future to better support those that support our educators when they need time away. And so we will be looking into that in the near future. And those of you that are substitute teachers, reach out to me. Let me know your thoughts. Teachers, those of you that currently are teaching and you know the benefits of substitute teaching, reach me and let's have a conversation in regards to that. So when we start having these conversations, I want to make sure that I'm well informed on what that looks like, and so that we can have some really informed conversation around how we can support that aspect of our teaching and learning. May 1st, National Principal Appreciation Day. Can't wait for May 1st. I'll see you soon on that. We also had several policy revisions, and many of those policy revisions were based on there were some changes in our state law, so those changes reflect those changes. So we did that. There was 5 principal appointments, and we had several assistant principal appointments and things of that nature. One person that I do want to, congratulations to all principals appointed to appointed to principalships that were assistant principals, and those principals that are being reassigned to other schools. Congratulations. We're excited about it. But one of them in particular, Dr. Hannah Polk, when I saw your name on the list, I was like, yes. For those of you that don't know, Dr. Hannah Polk was at Pebblebrook a few years back, and she served as an assistant principal. And even back then, I remember her being a leader amongst leaders. And so to see the promotion to principal at Hightower Trails Middle School, I wanted to stand up and applaud, but that wasn't the place for it. So congratulations, Dr. Hannah Polk. We're excited for you. We're excited to see your growth and your development as a leader, and we're here to support you at Hightower Trails Middle School. So we also approved the extension of contracts for the superintendent's cabinet, and so that was a big deal, and so we were glad about that. Let's say CARES Act budget. I did see this question. Someone sent it and said, will we be able to talk about the CARES Act budget? And while I don't have a lot of information in regards to that, what I do have is that 20% of the CARES Act budget must go to learning loss. And that is part of that presentation that we talked about early, where those funds will be spent in regards to learning loss for the next couple years. All right, let's talk about these public comments right quick. Let's quickly go through those. So for the work session at 2 o'clock, we had 8 speakers, and the first speaker, Aiden Crutchfield, who's a little young man from fifth grader from Ford Elementary, and he read a letter by a teacher, and it was in regards to the mass choice. And so I always love when children come to the school board. It's just when our students come and present, it always is just it's just a wonderful thing to see. So I appreciate that. Ms. Kelly Crutchfield, his mother, I assume, she also came and spoke in regards to the mass choice. John Hanson, he has come several times and he's talked about mask and contact tracing. Chris Hell, she talked about funding for mental health. She lives in Post 5 and she's also a Fulton County retired teacher. And so she was coming to talk about the importance of making sure we support mental health during COVID. And so I appreciate you coming, Ms. Chris Hell. Heather Toller Bauer has come to again in regards to Alert Point this time, and she presented us some information in regards to Alert Point. And the group called Watching the Funds Comp apparently did a survey, and they surveyed teachers, and so they presented those findings to the Board of Education. Stacy Efrat, she's also with Watching the Funds Comp. She also went through some of the surveys, questions, and comments that were made from that information that they've put together in regards to Alert Point problems. I'm not going to attempt to mess up your name, Miss Alyssa, but she came to us to talk about mask mandate as well, and she said that she was an immigrant, and she was talking about the mask mandate in regards to her religious beliefs. And so, thank you for sharing with us. I appreciate that. And last but not least is Valerie Tessman. Many of us know her here in Post 3, Watching the Funds Cobb, and she came and spoke to us in regards to fiscal responsibility, but then she also talked to us about school councils. And so I will get to that agenda item in just a moment. So I had an agenda, well, let's just jump into it. I had an agenda item placed on the agenda to talk about school councils, or more so talking about principal advisory councils and what that change looks like for the Cobb County School District. And our leadership officer, Sherry Hill, was able to talk with us in regards to the thought process behind principal advisory councils and how we can participate in that process with advising with our principals, and also making sure that we remember some of the other avenues that we have to communicate and be a part of the collaborative process through PTA and things of that nature. And so any of you that may have questions and concerns in regards to Principal Advisory Council, over the next couple of months, we will be fielding questions and comments and concerns, and so that by the end of the summer, we will have something like I'm gonna call them priorities or expectations per se. Let's say expectations, that's a better word, of how Principal Advisory Councils will work seamlessly with our community partners and our families and our parent leaders and our students. Even in high school, they'll have an opportunity to serve on the Principal Advisory Council. And so we'll have some expectations on what that looks like and how it will operate. So those of you that are familiar with school council and you serve on school council, and you like some of the things in school council, well, let's talk about it, let's field it, and then let's see how we can get to a strong Principal Advisory Council moving forward. So I do want to make sure that I put that out there, that was an agenda item that got on there and we talked about it. And we're going to continue to talk about it until we get it to where it is a great collaborative solution for our parents, our teachers, our communities, our principals, and the school district. I believe that we can get to that place. So let's work on that. And oh, Erica, thank you. I see it. You said that school councils is your passion. Erica, it is my passion as well. I've been serving on school councils in the Pebblebrook cluster for many years, and so and actually have done some training on school councils. And so yes, it is my passion as well, and it is one of those leadership roles that I encourage parents to look into. You know, we have PTA and the things that PTA offer as well. And I tell people the school council, it kind of stole my heart. So definitely love school councils. So the evening session, we can get to this. The evening session was 15 speakers, and all 15 speakers were students of the Wheeler High School family, the Wildcat family. And they were there to discuss the name change, and they had a presentation. And they presented the entire presentation through the board comment session. Again, when our students come to present before the board, it is, for me, it's exciting. It's exciting to see. And I would, and then because I know many of these students personally, to see them and to see their growth and to see their leadership and the way that they presented this, it reminded me of a capstone presentation. It reminded me of something that we would do in college when we were presenting our senior dissertations and things of that nature. It was so well organized. It was professional. Um, Please go on their social media page, Wheeler Name Change. You'll find it on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. These young people have done something amazing as far as the presentation and creating an understanding to what their belief is and what they're passionate about. And I'm telling you, I'm blown away. Please take a look at this. This was exciting to actually have the presentation presented to us. Everybody had a part of it. All seven, I'm sorry, all 15 of these young people, and it was a couple of their parents were in there, that presented and got this information to us. And so, thank you. This was very nice. I the way that the ability of students to work within the system and to make sure that their voice is heard. I applaud each and every one of you. So, thank you. And so I don't have anything else other than those of us are in the Mableton Austell area know that next week we will have a town hall in regards to SPLOS and things of that nature. Thank you, Valerie, for posting that. The Facebook Wheeler Name Change. Thank you. We will have a SPLOS planning meeting next week. And so I look forward to all of you that will be a part of that. I do believe we talked about the meeting in Powder Springs coming forward. And so that those things will be coming in the immediate future. So be on the lookout for that meeting on Thursday of this week, so we can engage, talk, look at some data, and make some recommendations. So thank you for the community coming together. And if you want to be a part of that conversation on this coming Thursday, we're going to have a day session, and we're also going to have an evening session. Please let me know via social media. That treforcopschools@gmail.com, or go to the website treforcopschools.com, and so we can get you tied in. The area, Erica, that we will be discussing will be the Mableton and the Austell area. So and particularly Pebblebrook High School cluster and the South Cobb High School cluster, particularly. It will be that framework in which we will be discussing in that particular town hall. If you're in another area, but you would like to see the framework in which we're using, I'll be more than happy to, show you what we're going to be doing and all that kind of stuff as well. So, but thank you for your interest. I appreciate that. That's it. So, well, let me not say that's it, because I don't want to be disingenuous to my community. Also announced yesterday, and it wasn't announced in the board meeting, but many of you may have received an announcement from the superintendent in regards to an unplanned visit to the Cobb County School District. That information did go out via CTLS on yesterday, so please make sure that you go and look at that information that was sent out from our superintendent, and start doing your research in regards to who Cognia is. I believe their website is www.cognia.org, and what this process of coming to review the school district looks like. And so we'll be working with them in regards to that over the next, I'm not sure how long, or what the time frame is on that. This will be a new process for me as well, but they're coming, and so we're going to move forward with that. So thank you. I don't have any other questions. Y'all have any questions? There's nothing in the y'all don't have any questions for me this morning. Usually they're full of questions. And but I have a few minutes left, because we've actually finished our agenda quickly. And this, because the students at Wheeler made my job easier when we were going to recap the public comments, because it was just that presentation. So thank you, guys. All right, we don't have any other questions or comments coming in, so I thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. I also want to say thank you for I went to sleep last night late, because a lot of calls from elected officials, a lot of calls from community leaders on last night. And so thank you for calling. Number one, not just to understand what is happening, but to also check on me and to make sure that I am well and things are well, and then to say what can we do to move forward and help. And so I appreciate all of those calls, those emails that I received late into the evening, and the phone calls that I received from educators. First thing, I'm talking about 6:30 in the morning, my phone was ringing. Educators calling to say, Trey, we love you, we support you. I got a lot of prayers, text to me. Thank you, Abby. It was exciting to wake up to that. Like I said, I'm awake and more energized and ready to continue to do what we do to support all children in Cobb County. And so thank you for each and every one of you for reaching out and for loving on me and continue to support what we do to ensure that our children have an equitable education here in Cobb County. So thank you. And listen, no need to belabor the time. Drink your coffee. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I am actually going to get me some self-care today and tomorrow, me and the boys. And so I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate you. And thank you, everyone. I appreciate you coming. And until next time.